What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to An American in Poland. As you can tell, I am not 100% right now, but this news story could not wait. The United States has officially gone completely crazy. So, what does this have to do with Poland? Well, there's a lot of similarities about just people in general, whether you be from Poland or United States. But right now, hyper-partisan politics is kind of the name of the game. And this is the same in the United States as it is in Poland. United States, you have Democrats versus Republicans. In Poland, you have PiS versus PEL. And unfortunately, a direct result of the hyper-partisan rhetoric, last night, former President Donald Trump, there was a attempted assassination at a political rally in Pennsylvania. He's okay. We do send out well wishes to him and his family. I don't care where you sit on the political spectrum. You shouldn't want your political rival dead. That's not part of a democracy. That's banana republic BS. But I mean, for example, Mexico, the woman who recently became president of Mexico, well, there were 23 other candidates that were assassinated before her just in this last election. So, that's kind of the norm for a third world country, but it's not the norm for the United States or Poland. And that being said, let's get to a clip here, and we'll take a look and see what happened with President Trump.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Shooters down. Shooters down.
Are we good?
Shooters down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. We're good to move.
Clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay. My shoes down. My shoe.
Watch out.
Now, as you can see, President Trump defiantly raising his fist after being shot in the face. I guess it just grazed his cheek and hit his ear. But he's definitely quite the guy, whether you love him or hate him. And that seems to be kind of the polarization. There's nobody really in between. But I think what's happened is with this one act, it cemented the elections come November. I think that even if you didn't like Trump, the idea of somebody trying to assassinate him might kind of lead you over towards, you know what, maybe he's doing something. He's pissing off the right people, so we're going to go ahead and vote for him. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. The one thing that I always find interesting about people in general is that regardless of where you go in the world, people are pretty similar. I mean, granted, there are cultural differences, but we are a very tribal beast. And politics, especially, I would say in the last, 20 years, has become hyper polarized. which by what I mean is you either have to fall into the camp that is far right or fall into the camp that is far left. And the problem with this is I think that generally most people fall someplace kind of right in the middle. I think there's much more that we can agree on than there is really disagreements. But what happens is with these political parties is the extremes tend to take control, and especially in a two-party system, which Poland basically is, and the United States definitely is. I think that makes for a much stronger opportunity for the extremes to kind of gain control of the talking points, of the messaging that's going out from the parties, and which is really too sad. You know, when I was a kid, you know, I know my parents had friends that were Democrats. My parents were Republicans. They used to sit and talk politics, and sure, there would be disagreements, but it would never end the friendship over a political disagreement. Whereas now, it's much more difficult, you know, for people. I think I know quite a few people that, because of the fact that, oh, you voted for this person, I can't be friends with you anymore, because they take that as like a personal assault on themselves. It's not. I don't care who you vote for. If you're my friend, you're my friend. It is what it is. But this has become much more common in the modern era. I don't think that you see it so much with the older generations. One thing that I thought was really interesting with this attack yesterday was the fact that the leading left-wing media propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, which is CNN, their headline for this, instead of it saying like, you know, attempted assassination of Donald Trump, it was Secret Service interrupts Trump rally. Not, you know, assassination attempt foiled by Secret Service, but, you know, they tried to make this into something that it wasn't, you know. That it was no big deal. No, they just shot him, you know. What could possibly be? But, you know, this is the problem. We've become so hyper-focused on our teams that the other side is no longer human. And so therefore it's okay to shoot them, right? And it's the same kind of thing that's going on here in Poland. You know, I see a lot of people who are completely anti-Russian because that's what the media has told us that we have to be. I have a lot of friends that are Russian. I have a lot of friends that are Ukrainian. And they're good people, you know, they're not their governments. You know, I don't understand this whole thing where like, you're from Russia? Well, Russia's a horrible place that's trying to expand their empire across the world. And it's like, especially coming from Americans, this is very frustrating, because what's the country that's got more military bases around the world than any other? Couldn't be America, could it? You know, what business does the United States having military bases in every country? You know, it's not, you know, it's a little ridiculous, you know, and in English we say it's the pot calling the kettle black. But this has fallen into politics as well, you know, that if you're voting for peace, you know, you're this, or you're voting for PO, you're that. If you're voting for the Republicans, you're this. If you're voting for Democrats, you're that. And I think this has to stop. I don't see the value in this. And I think that the majority of us kind of share ideas. And, you know, we shouldn't let the 10% that we disagree on dictate the 90% that we do agree on. What does that mean? chances are, if you sit down and have a conversation with somebody from the opposing political side, that 90% of the time you're going to agree. And you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm for that. You know, we just have to figure out how we can make it work. And then there's 10% where, you know, you're like, oh no, I can't get on board with that at all. I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. And that's okay. You're allowed to have disagreements. And sometimes one side will win and the other side will lose. And, you know, that's normal. Maybe on the next thing, it'll be the opposite. Realistically, this has got to stop. It just has to stop. I think the modern media has pushed people to the point where, you know, they think it's okay to assassinate a politician. You know, you've gone a little bit too far. What was interesting is I was reading on, you know, Reddit and a couple of different message boards where there were a lot of folks from the left that I normally, you know, had very positive political discourse with, and yet they were like, oh, it's too bad that he didn't get killed. Well, that's a bit extreme. If you're okay with that, there's a real problem. We shouldn't be looking to, in any way, shape, or form, that assassinating a political rival is acceptable. And this is supposed to be from the kinder, gentler people of this world. But yet they're fine with killing off Donald Trump. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys kind of take this to heart. Think about where you want to be. I love Poland. I really do. I think Poland is in a much better place politically than the United States is, but I see them quickly traveling down that same partisan path that the United States did 20 years ago. And I worry that in 20 years' time, you know, Poland to be in the same position that Americans are in now. You know, that's scary. I think that social media really has a lot to do with it. You know, we don't think of people as people anymore. They're just an emoji on the screen. You know, they're not an individual. You know, we don't have to face them and either accept or politely accept the differences or don't, you know. But it's really a shame what's happening in the United States. It's not the country that I grew up in. It really isn't. Anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this special edition of America in Poland. If you haven't had the opportunity to hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you do. And we'll see you again soon. Hopefully I'm going to get over this soon so I can put up a little bit higher quality content where you can actually hear what I'm saying. Anyhow, na razie, dziękuję bardzo, and we will see you guys really soon.